Welcome back to the Buzz on Business. This is the show for the Northern Medina County Chamber Alliance, and I'm your host for today, Amanda Liptak with Nutrient Rich Life. And we have here with us today Brian Feron, the president of the Medina County Historical Society. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the history. It's 104 years old. You were just talking to me before the show started, which is absolutely amazing. How did the Historical Society get started?
Back in 1922, a group of citizens felt it was important to preserve history. The county was starting to grow through the 20s, and so certain items they felt were very important to keep for future generations. So they chartered our organization and incorporated it as a nonprofit organization. So we still are an all-volunteer nonprofit. But for 104 years, we've been accumulating records, objects, stories, interviews of Medina County history and the people and places and things like that that have gone on in our county. So we're really proud of the collection we have. We operate two historic house museums, the John Smart House Museum, which is an 1886 Victorian, located 1 block north of the Medina Square. And we also have the McDowell Phillips House Museum, which is a large Queen Anne shingle-style home, and that's 4 blocks west of Medina Square. So both are easy walking distance of the square, and both have a unique collection of items. The John Smart House is what we consider our main museum, and it has everything from an expansive Native American collection from the earliest days of the county and objects found in the area to the McDowell Phillips House, which was owned by the same family for 5 generations, and they were people that didn't throw things away, thank goodness, because we have hundreds of letters, photos, and so forth that were retained in the house and the attic that we are still going through, believe it or not. And it's been a wildly interesting collection of items all the way back to the Civil War era. They were very politically active in Ohio in the early days following the Civil War and getting things rolling again. So we can tell a great deal of history by the items found in the house, as well as about the Underground Railroad, which certainly linked Medina, Brunswick, Hinckley, all the way over to Oberlin. We have connections and people that had a part of that. Not a lot of written records, but we do have a couple of really good pieces that we can share to illustrate how extensive the Underground Network truly is. Now we're part of the National Underground Railroad Network throughout the nation, and Spring Grove Cemetery, Medina, actually has a marker indicating that because of the people buried there had an active role. Certainly in Brunswick, we had Hiram Miller, who was a known abolitionist and conductor on the Underground Railroad. So there's a great deal of history about him, as well as at the Brunswick Area Historical Society.
Wow. And do you educate the schools as well? Do you have school groups that come through?
Yes, we do. The 3rd graders from most of our elementary schools come every year. They're just starting to learn a little bit about Ohio history and the local area. So they certainly enjoy it. And just recently, we've started going to the schools, especially with this 8th graders who are studying Civil War and Underground Railroad. So they gain a deeper appreciation of the role this area of the country had in all that. Ohio was a free state, but it certainly didn't mean everything went real smooth. And of course, the road to freedom for many of the escaped slaves was pretty difficult. And to think that we actually had roles in helping them along the way, people are fascinated still to this day by that subject.
Now tell me about this book that you have here.
Yes, this year, as part of our America 250 celebration, which is going on nationwide, of course, in Ohio, we received a grant early on to afford to print a book about the Revolutionary War soldiers buried in Medina County. Okay. That was our theme grant submission, that we felt that was an important topic to talk about, because most people know about the Civil War soldiers, certainly World War II, Vietnam, World War I, but not many knew of the Revolutionary War soldiers. There's about 40 plus soldiers altogether in the book. Brunswick had 3 soldiers, and all buried in different cemeteries in Brunswick. And that's what we did, is we tried to research the soldiers through census records, pension records, some of which were not real accurate or clean. So we had to do a lot of digging to verify they actually were soldiers. They carried a weapon, typically. Doesn't mean others weren't involved in the Revolutionary War, because you still had blacksmiths and wagoneers, teamsters, things like that helped the war effort. But the interesting thing is, obviously most of these soldiers served in the East or the South, what brought them to Medina County. And so when you figure about the best way here was either on foot or by canal boat, and then you walked possibly you went from Buffalo to Cleveland, then down to Medina County. And these gentlemen were normally in their 70s by the time they arrived in Medina County. Since our county wasn't even formed until 1818, that's significantly after the Revolutionary War. But it was a fascinating project, all volunteer committee that did the research and the editing, and we had the books printed right in Wadsworth. So it's a really neat book, still available in schools, and our local Medina County District Library has a PDF version if you care to look at it that way too.
Where can they go to get more information about the Historical Society?
They can contact us through Facebook. They can email us at mchs@zoominternet.net, or follow us on the website, medinacountyhistoricalsociety.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today and filling us in on a little bit of history. Thanks for watching the Buzz on Business. We'll be right back.